Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today I have my friends Aaron and Ashley on the show. We're going to be talking about, these guys have left corporate America, much like I did. A lot of you that are listening probably have too, and have applied the principles of running large sales teams to their business, and they've just crushed it in a short period of time. So we're going to share why they think it's important to build a sales and marketing machine before anything else. Professional real estate investors know that it's not really about the real estate. In fact, real estate is just a vehicle to freedom. A group of over 100 of the nation's leading real estate investors from across the country meet several times a year at the Investor Fuel Real Estate Mastermind to share ideas on how to strengthen each other's businesses, but also to come together as friends and build more fulfilling lives for all of those around us. On today's show, we're going to continue our conversation of fueling our businesses and fueling our lives. I'm glad you're here. Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, Mike? Thanks for having us.
Yeah, hey, I'm excited to have you guys on the show. You guys have really built something pretty incredible in a short period of time. And it's been awesome getting to know you guys through Investor Fuel as well. And, there's a lot of people in our network that aspire to do what you guys have done. So I think it's going to be awesome to learn a little bit more about how you've applied your skills learned in corporate America. Like me, you guys are corporate refugees, right? And you just apply that into something that you work hard for, but you see the benefits yourself instead of building somebody else's business, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, why don't you guys just take a second before we get started here and just tell us about your background, maybe introduce yourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I'm Aaron Pimpis.
And I'm Ashley Skrzypek.
So we basically cut off the cord, I would say, last April 2018. We completely, obviously quit our jobs. Ashley came first. I came second. We were full-time, so I was a VP of sales in a private equity company, medical software. Ashley was doing the same thing. It was more of a publicly traded company. So pretty big organizations. We were making a very, very good living, put it that way. But like everybody else, we saw the trajectory, and the trajectory sucked in terms of you're going to work more, get promoted more, and you're going to have less, time to give to your family, kids, everything else. So we're going to cut the cord off early. We don't want to get in the 50s and work the sales floor at the trade shows. It's just like a sad truth. So we transitioned over. April of last year was the official kind of start date. And then, from that point on, I think we're at about 10, about to be 12 team members total. We're based out of Tampa. And basically I think we ended up doing 7+ figures our first year. It wasn't easy, like everybody else makes it sound. It's not easy.
Yeah.
A lot of back and forth. It's just we're able to kind of, hone it in. But we did apply a lot of our background, specifically sales marketing, to this business, this industry.
That's awesome. And how do you guys like and working together? I work with my wife too. My answer is different than hers.
Well, are you and your wife in the office at the same time?
Yeah, we had a little tiff this morning already. So
okay, well, perfect. It's a perfect one.
Because I'm the gas and she's the brakes. So
we're both gas and brake at the same time.
It is challenging, but it's also been great to really strengthen our relationship, and it really helps us focus on what we can accomplish together. So for us, understanding our why and being able to share our goals and sharing what we're working towards and what we're building is huge, that we can actually do it together and really have a partner. But don't get me wrong, there are definitely days where we have our
two type A personalities in a relationship working together. It's always a match. It's a perfect fit.
Yeah. Hey, I understand. I'll just to get a little personal here. It was literally like a half hour ago. I heard, "I am not your employee." So, but sometimes you're like, "Hey, I'm trying to drive a bus here." Like,
You've never had that conversation.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to drive that bus too, and so is he at the same time, same bus.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's really exciting to learn from you guys today is having run sales organizations. I mean, a lot of people that get started in real estate investing or they've been in for a while, sometimes they get either content or they can't get out of their own way, and they effectively create a job for themselves, right? You guys are trying to scale something because you've helped scale teams before. You understand that sales and marketing have to come first, right? And so that's the fuel that drives your business. And so maybe talk a little bit about kind of the skills and things you learned in corporate America that you're applying that are kind of the foundation for your own business.
Yeah, well, to start off, kind of, I'll talk about my experience, and Ashley will add to that as well. But running a sales team, and again, we work for some medical software company. So the way it's structured there, you are marketing, you are dev, you are our kind of operations as well, and you are also working with products directly. So what helped me realize first is marketing, really hone that in. But transitioning, I'd say, into any business, if you have marketing and sales down, the rest will take care of itself. If
Yeah.
you're putting it as secondary, tertiary, or as a number four, that you're definitely setting yourself up, because a lot of people, I think, have that reversed. You can always come back from hitting sales and marketing out of the ballpark. Both, I put always together. And you can always add in systems. You can always add in, everything else that goes along with that, admin, et cetera. So what I was able to do is start the marketing, at least getting the ball rolling, like on things like SEO and transition to pay-per-click. I think those are our first two channels that we did initially. With sales is built in. I mean, we'd have to do too much there, but anybody that doesn't have that built in, like, they should have John Martinez on replay all day in their ear. But again, being able to take the marketing aspect, plugging that in, and again, we're able to handle sales upfront ourselves, before we start building a team on acquisition, disposition to sales as well. Helped us to hit the ground running. There was a lot of mistakes. We didn't really know what we're doing initially, just like everybody else. A lot of these podcasts, a lot of this stuff is like, you hear people's stories like, oh my God, they knew exactly what they were doing. I think it's a lot of fallacy. Now, dude, we know what the hell we're doing. There's just they're like, those guys got it dialed in. I want to be like them. None of that's true, right? It's just, there was a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of, like, I still know how to read a fire bar. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I'm like, where's this condition? Like, I don't know what I'm looking at. So,
But I do. It's all good.
what the matter is, we have to learn a lot. But those two core competencies you need to have. If you don't, I think you can hone those in before anybody makes a transition, before anybody really starts to go after it in a way where it may be inverse. But again, taking all of our 10+ years in sales experience, enterprise sales and software and building teams helped tremendously. Coupling with marketing.
Yeah. So for us, we had sales experience, but we didn't have any what I would consider true real estate experience.
Yep.
Aaron did some basic marketing, and then we went out and just boots on the ground. We learned everything from scratch, most of it on our own, through trial and error. And our whole mentality was, don't be afraid to make mistakes. As long as you learn from your mistakes, they're calculated risks. And I speak a lot about that even with our team on an ongoing basis, because that's where you grow, when you get uncomfortable. And so every time I get the butterflies in my stomach, not really certain which way we're going to go, or is this a good decision or bad decision, we do as much research as we possibly can. But Aaron always jokes about paralysis analysis. I do like to analyze things. But we went out there and we just started talking to people. We just got out there, started looking at houses, started figuring out what I didn't know. I used to bring a contractor with me just because I knew nothing about anything that had to do with houses. And we'd get out there, and then from a sales perspective, we just start talking to people. When you talk to people, as long as you can build some form of rapport, which is basically just be a decent person early on in conversation,
right?
You have the opportunity to start learning about what motivates people to get into these situations, because they came from a diverse background, and you really just need to understand. And that's when sales kicked in. And then from there, it was really about, we tried everything first ourselves. We would learn about like all the mistakes we possibly could on our own before we would formalize a plan or a process. And then where Aaron really stepped in is he helps expedite. He's like the fuel or the gas to everything. So anytime we learn a process or get anything down, Aaron's next thing was, okay, now you can do it. Now we'll go teach someone else to do it. And that's where I think we were able to grow so fast, because Aaron would always push us to share that knowledge and teach other people, where everyone else is so afraid of sharing too much information because they're going to steal it or take it from you. And that's what's helped us grow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good, because now we're teaching more people to act on our behalf.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think a lot of people don't. You guys were not in. You weren't involved in the software development at all, right?
Yes and no. So when you're in sales, you're boots on the ground, right? So basically,
kind of the feedback loop
from customers, it goes directly to development of product, because they don't know what we're talking about, and you know exactly what will sell, will move the needle, functionality, how to market, etc. So you are basically doing those positions by proxy. Yeah. One more thing I wanted to add that was crucial to our success: we joined a mastermind immediately. I know we're part of the investor field now. I think it's, if you join anything, any mastermind, we didn't have to learn anything on our own, but access to information, we made that decision on the spot because we saw people that were in the mastermind. We knew what information they possessed. It was speed of play. A lot of people hold off on that. If you can't afford it, it's going to save you a year and a half or two in getting you closer to where you need to be, aside from getting it, right away.
Yeah. That's awesome. One of the things I was just thinking of when because knowing your software background is like some people try to wait till everything's perfect in any small business, right? Like I need to wait till I know everything, but in software, right? You're just like, hey, this is version 1.14 or 1.15. Like you start to get ingrained that there are iterations, like just get 1.0 started and we'll go to 1.1 and we'll kind of bump forward. And so I wish more people that were real estate investors thought that way. Like I know there's opportunity for improvement in everything I do, but it's not going to stop me from jumping in today.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's just how humans are wired in general, but it's one of those things to overcome. I definitely used to be like that as well. I still am in a way where developing the current software where I was like, all right, this cannot continue. You have to get it out. You have to just remind yourself of that.
Yeah. So you guys, obviously you're focused on building something much larger than either one of you, right? And so talk a little about the importance of a team and the culture that you've laid to help you grow.
Yeah, so we learned early on that we needed to have the right people in our team. And sometimes they didn't come in the form that we were looking for. We might be looking to hire somebody to help with acquisitions, and we start interviewing, we find out that maybe they're not the right fit for acquisitions, but that's just the right type of person we need to bring into the organization. And so we weren't afraid to go out there and hunt those people down and bring them in and then find a way that they were able to create and bring value to the company. And so a lot of emphasis on getting the right people into the right seats on the bus has been a constant theme so they can really excel. Because what you want to do is you want to find people that want to do what they're doing. Because when you like what you're doing, when you want to be here, you basically are self-motivated. And so we're not always focused on just driving people. They drive themselves.
Yep. Have you found, we could probably have an entire show just on finding people, right? I mean, where we could talk for that for weeks, right? But have you found there's a lot of people that don't add people fast enough? There's always this fear of, well, I'm just going to teach them something and they're going to be my competitor or whatever. Like talk a little bit about your mentality on that.
Yeah. That's something we struggled with for a long time initially, just like everybody else. It's just like the scarcity mentality. Most people that you hire, you can disc profile them, right? Everything else. That is a big savior for us. I mean, you have to do this profile, whether it's that or it's the sales assessment version, right? Or Colby, whatever version you have, it's a huge time saver. Yeah. Most people are just not geared to necessarily be entrepreneurs. Most people need guidance. They need, this is your box. This is what you do. Even sales reps, right? It's the same question we've had, but most of them need structure. They need to be provided with a good place to work, a healthy environment, because we've seen a toxic environment in the place we used to work. And one of the big whys, why we decided to do this, is that to never have that. One of our, money aside, all that stuff, one of our big 3 whys in doing this is that we wanted to create an awesome company culture where people want to be, they want to contribute. It's past the monetary aspect, because we've been part of corporate toxic cultures was terrible. And then we just never wanted to see that ever again. So whatever it takes. Yeah. But to answer your question, it's something you're going to have to learn and cope with, because you have to understand that when you're hiring people, most are just not wired like you per se.
Right.
Most people just want a stable, secure job, and they need to be told, this is what you do step by step. Now I'm going to provide you with, leadership and everything else you need to do to be successful at your job.
Yeah. What would you say culturally? Like, what's your secret sauce, if there is any, to how to create that culture? Like, you guys are, you haven't been doing this forever, but in a short period of time, you've had some great success. So what's kind of that secret sauce that you think you have to create a great environment or culture?
Yeah, so we really focus on an environment that we want to be in, and it helps us because we're trying to bring in people that want to be successful, that are self-driven and motivated, that like what they do, even in interviews. And really just making sure, do you even want this? Do you like real estate? What about it do you like? And then making sure that you keep it fun and lively. Do you want to come to work every day in the environment you're creating for yourself? Because that environment is what's everyone else's environment as well.
Well, the other biggest biggest thing that we apply is really help them to succeed personally rather than just, they're going to get the tools professionally, right? Everybody in our company is going to be, on the sales side is going to be earning 6+ figures, and that's by design. The other thing is that we meet with everybody individually and we make sure they succeed as people. So self-development is going to be, multiple books mention this, but this is going to be either make it or break it for your company. I believe there's the CEO of Infusionsoft, right? He has the back end to all the companies and he sees which ones succeed, which ones don't. He actually did a study to see after a certain amount of time why certain companies continue to go vertical and someone's flattened out. He interviewed the CEOs. The number one reason why is because they were part of self-development with employees. Number one reason. And that guy, Infusionsoft, I mean, I think you guys use it, I don't know, but
Yeah,
the back end to everybody. So it's a crazy discovery, but it's one of our core competencies in making sure that all employees continue to develop and, personally, professionally, and then they succeed, both ways.
So what we do specifically, just to get down to the actual specifics, is that we have a team Audible account where we recommend certain books. We do read books as a team and come in and we actually talk about some of the things that they learn. A lot of those things we learn are not just about business, but it's a person as a whole. Because if everyone in your office is having outside drama, personal stuff, that takes a toll on what they're actually doing productivity-wise in the office. So we meet with our team individually, we have one-on-ones, we talk about their personal goals and we tie those to our business goals. And so they're aligned. So they have true, just the company goals and the personal goals are aligned and really moving forward in that same direction, that same path.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So one of the things I know about you guys is you're also very analytical, and that allows you to test stuff. And we've talked about kind of iterate, right? You test marketing channels and move in and out of stuff. If it's not working, you do less of it. If it is working, you do more of it, right? So talk a little bit about some of the learnings you've had over the past year, things you've tried that didn't work, and then we'll kind of get into like what's working now.
Yeah, so we've done, I believe, every single marketing channel available in the industry, every single one. So, cold calling, direct mail, SEO, pay-per-click, Facebook, RVM, TV, text messaging being the staple, right? If I'm missing anything else, we've done it as well, right?
Yeah.
Door handling, I think it's in production. So out of those, all kept, turning and burning. One of the things we got from one of the masterminds we used to be a part of, we were forced to do KPIs, like forced. Nobody here does that. One night in San Diego, exactly a year ago, I'm going to see in San Diego next week. Yep. Exactly 1 year ago in San Diego, we're sitting there. I think we went out.
5 o'clock in the morning.
We're like hungover. I'm like, man, I got to do KPIs. So we're sitting there. We're forced to do them. And holy shit, was it an eye-opening moment. You saw things, again, once a simple spreadsheet that you and I might have seen. Again, I'm going to try to do a better version of that. Once you put things into a spreadsheet and you average out things and you see that, like, hey, Mike, how's pay-per-click doing? It's like, oh, good, it's doing good. I'm spending $25,000. That's what we're spending on pay-per-click. And then you back into it, you're like, oh, so we're spending 25, but we're getting 45 back. I'm like, I guess, there's a lot of volume and you got to like, your finger pulse. You're like, it's good. Then you're looking at it, you're like, oh, so we're just spinning our wheels and nothing's really coming out of it, right? It's like, exactly. So by doing that, it helped us to make that our habit, right? And always analyze what's going on, because once you put data in a simple spreadsheet that you and I have seen, put in, what your marketing expense was, what your a source of the deal is, how much your average, right? How many leads you received. It's very, very simple. Nobody does it. Hopefully I'll have a solution for that soon. But the point of the matter, it makes you see data instead of you thinking that you're doing good with more marketing channel. That's a 1x versus SEO was a 15x return.
Yeah, so we actually incorporated that. That's one of the I think the easiest shifts for us to have made, and it's had the biggest return, is that we incorporate specifically review of KPIs now on a weekly basis versus before, even though we did it was pretty sporadic. A lot of times it was in preparation for mastermind meetings, and then we started to see how tremendous that value was. So we just do it now once a week. Every Monday, we review high-level KPIs. So when we start to see leading indicators, we can make a shift. And that's why we've been able to go through so many marketing sources so quickly.
Yeah.
It's because we're on top of the KPI.
We saw pay-per-click dying before it died, right? Everybody's off of it now, I think, for the most part. Direct mail, we made the same hard pivot along with pretty much anything else we've tried. Direct mail, pay-per-click were the with the marketing budget hogs, right? And it's one of the reasons we decided to go into TV because, it's obviously a channel that, I know two people that are doing, but at the same time, the other ones were getting so saturated. It was just a natural progression of, we have to try something else in a controlled manner. You have to obviously still have something going before a transition, but without seeing your data in a spreadsheet, any kind of spreadsheet, you are not running a business. That may have been said before, but that's just literally, you think you know it all up here because you got your pulse in the business as a one-man show or a 10-man show, you're kidding yourself in all aspects.
Yeah. And you can't, you can see trends too, right? Over time, you see things. I mean, that's the main thing of this business is like in our mind, we're just thinking of recency things like, oh, I just got one. I love pay-per-click, right? But if you look across time, you're like, wow, we've spent more on advertising than we've gotten back in profit. Or, it doesn't have to be, it could be that one other thing that you find out when you're looking at a spreadsheet and you're looking at data is we tend to get hung up on units, right? Like I spent this and I got a deal. It's like, well, what if you got a deal from this and you got a deal from that, but one of them has a 50% higher profit? Like it might be more profitable, right? Unless you're modeling that out, which isn't that hard to do, as you know. You're just guessing, right?
Yeah, there's no tool for it now. Like I said, hopefully I'll be able to solve that soon, for free. But it's one of those reasons why we, went kind of all in with text messaging, especially when we're seeing something cost $400 cost per deal, right? And we're already doing it. It's just, you don't know that until you really see numbers and you do see progression, you see averages. 3-month averages show you lagging indicators, where leading indicators will be like what's coming in. Because one of the big things we took away from the corporate world was tracking closed loss leads, closed loss deals, right? Closed loss for what reason? Manufactured home, all retail leads. Are there just telemarketers, right? If you back those in, you're also able to see a different aspect of why is the marketing source not working. Some of those you can resolve, some of those you can't. But it also tracking closed loss reasons is one of those big things that everybody should be doing as well.
Here's the other interesting thing for us is that prior to where we're going with the software side of this is that SMS has been the one consistent platform where we've gone through very costly pay-per-click and other marketing sources. SMS for us has been huge because of consistency and just the overall cost per lead or the cost per deal. Right. And these transitioned over. You mentioned that running KPIs based on units. We did transition over from looking at things on a unit basis to everything being revenue based, even down to our sales team's goals, not just measuring the number of deals, but the revenue that they're trying to achieve on a monthly or a quarterly basis.
Right.
It should be an aha to everybody, just not the number of deals, but everyone gets so caught up in social media. I got 10 deals, I got 5 deals. That's great, but was the deal $1,000 or was it $25,000? Because they're not the same.
Yep. So you guys have had so much success with text messaging that you just started to create your own platform, and then obviously now you're about to launch that to where others can use it as well. So you want to, without being like overly kind of pitchy, or you want to just take a minute and tell us about the platform and where people could learn more about it?
Yeah, for sure. So Launch Control, that's the platform, launchcontrol.us. We built it in-house. We used it for a year in-house since we started. Right. And that's the constant. If you look at our trend line on all marketing channels, it's the constant, right? Everything else, in and out, pay-per-click, everything else. It was the constant. And basically, I started developing it in a way where it became very sophisticated. And there was an opportunity to obviously, as part of Investor Fuel, there was a need for software, everybody's asking about it, et cetera. From a first meeting, I saw you in Salt Lake, right? And that kind of spurred the decision to, look, I can take this to market and have other people benefit as well. Right now, it's not a very well catered to market, put it that way. But at the same time, there's a reason why I've been able to average 3,000 texts per deal consistently for the past year. I think there's a lot of current tools that do kind of masses of asses approach, like same thing as direct mail, where like when somebody answers yes out of the 10,000 messages I send, that's a deal. No, we took the sales aspect, like think of like it's John Martinez's version of texting, and we got it down to science, which is like consistently has been able to get us a deal for every 3,000 messages we send. The other stuff that we've honed in internally that has been a big success for us is really dialing in the follow-up, nurture, and the drip campaigns that live inside the software, because most of our deals come from that. We had a deal, I think 2 weeks ago. It was from 1 year ago.
Yeah.
From text. Most of them get buried, and it's like, unless they tell you yes in the first turn, you're done. But again, we took the complete inverse approach and applied sales, to texting essentially, and also nurture and drip campaigns to make sure you're getting the most returns. And you're not running through a gigantic metropolitan area like Dallas. In a matter of 6 months, you're out of data. Because I know definitely people have done that.
Yeah. Awesome. So, would you guys mind? You guys have been members for Investor Fuel. We're meeting next week. Obviously, by the time this airs, it'll be over with. And you're also speaking at the $1 Million Meeting coming up. If anybody, we haven't really shared a whole lot on that yet, but $1milliondollarmeeting.com for those that want to. If you're an experienced investor and you want to come learn more about how to take your business to another level from folks like Aaron and Ashley here that have done exactly that, right? But maybe just, if you don't mind, just take a minute and share your experience so far with Investor Fuel.
So we've been a part of quite a few other masterminds, and specifically, we've had a great experience, honestly, with Investor Fuel. For first and foremost, the biggest thing for me was the openness of the people in the meetings, people truly willing to share and really not holding back. In a lot of other meetings, you could see that a lot of information was kept off the books. So it's like, that's my secret sauce. I'll tell you bits and pieces, but you're not going to get the whole deal, so you can't copy me. And that's been big for us. Even we truly see the difference. People are genuine and willing to help you, and that's just reciprocated because people are open and sharing more information. We're all growing quicker and growing together, and it's not a scarcity mentality here in the master.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One of the other reasons, being part of Investor Fuel, I don't think we made a decision if we're part of anywhere else in terms of having launchcontrol.us move forward in terms of the feedback, in terms of the openness of the group. And again, it's a community feel more than anything else. And how active the Facebook group is, especially. You feel like you're always constantly in flow, in motion, in communication versus once a quarter.
Yeah, we've tried to, as a mastermind leader, we've tried to say, hey, this is a community 365 days a year. I mean, anybody that runs a mastermind could say that, but we we introduced smaller meetings like in between our main meetings, and we're like constantly trying. I mean, the truth is for me with Investor Fuel, it's my show, right? But that's my second family. Like like our customers are my friends. Like I want to be around everybody more. It's not like done with that for a quarter. We'll don't have to talk to those people again for another quarter. Like not at all. Like I just sometimes, as you guys have seen, sometimes like people don't want to leave. Like I don't want this to be over. Right. So cool. Well, we appreciate you guys, and actually, really appreciate. At the end of the day, one of the cool things about Investor Fuel and our community is people like you that come in that are taking it to another level. Like, right, there used to be a time when I first started real estate investing 11 years ago, it was like cavemen, and it's just this evolution of the business, legitimizing it for one, and two, just advancing it through technology and using applications that you took out of corporate America or life lessons or whatever it is really kind of cool to see that happening. So we definitely appreciate you guys.
Cool.
If folks want to learn more about you guys, what you're doing in Tampa, what you're doing with your software, all that stuff, where should they go to learn more?
Yeah, so for the text messaging platform, it's launchcontrol.us.com was taken by some other business. I could have done better in the name, but everything was taken. .us. For us, we're not too big on social media for a reason, not yet. So if anybody wants to get in touch with us, would be through the website, or it would be Aaron at Bay Capital Holdings. That's our main company. Ashley Buys Houses is more of the consumer-facing brand, or Ashley at baycapitalholdings.com.
Awesome.
We're literally probably the most direct way of getting in touch with us.
That's great. Well, thanks for joining us today, guys.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Awesome. I'll see you guys next week. And everybody, hey, thanks for joining us today. If you haven't, the Investor Fuel show here is still fairly new. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love it if you subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you might watch the show at. Of course, you can see all of the shows by going to investorfuel.com or even flipnerd.com. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you on another episode. Everybody have a great day.
Cool.
See you soon. Bye-bye. Are you an active real estate investor? If so, and you want to latch on to the power of surrounding yourself with over 100 of the nation's leading real estate investors, all committed to building stronger businesses and living richer, fuller lives, you should jump on a call with us to learn more about Investor Fuel. Simply visit investorfuel.com to get started.